Hello everyone, this is my presentation about human capital zeros, and this is APPT the 1023 group assignment. So let's move on. Okay, so we first will be introduce who developed the human capital zero, and this is a picture about he and the Gary Becker. Gary Becker was an American economist born in the 1913 years, who died in the 2014, and he was one of the founders of Human Capital Zeros and is recognized and the pioneer in the application of macroeconomics and an analysis to explain the individual's behavior and social preference. And the second, his research covered a wide range of areas, including novel economics, the family's economics, and economics of race and social balances. And of course, Becker is best known for his contribution to human capital road. He developed this road in the 96 and emphasis in the communication of the human capitals by individuals through the education, the trainings and work expenses experienced to increase the productivities and income levels. So let's move on. Introduce about the human capital rules.
不对吗？你看，我要用
So
这个
about the
左右
rules, we can know that human capital refers to the knowledge experienced in situations and habits of the peoples, and the so-called human capital is to consider human capitals such as knowledge, skill, expensive education, and health as a kind of capital, and to improve the output capacity through contributions, the investment, and accumulation to choose to improve the economic development of the whole societies. In simple terms, it means investment in the whole person and nurturing and developing their in a holistic manner and so that their capitals can be enhanced and they can be better adapted on the need of societies the workforce. So let's move on to the next one. So we can see that is I use readable that is merely the introduction of the concept of human capitals has deepened people's understanding of their own potential and economic energy. So this I think this is the main ideas about these roles. So let's move on. So this is questions when the roles can be utilized. So first one I make how about a 5-part. I will show you that. Yes, this is a 5-part about the for these questions. Human capital zeros can be applied in the number of the areas and text. The following are some common situations and areas. The first one is education policy and investment decision. The second one is labor market and income disparities. And third one is business management and human resource development. And the last one is social policy and economic development. So with investment in human capitals can increase the future productivities and income levels, such as investing in education to gain knowledge and skills to improve their competitiveness in the future labor market. So let's move on to the next one questions. Here is how can you relate this roles to the real world standard that is like real life in our real life. So I make 3 examples. So let me show you the first one examples is the following chart shows the number of the education growth in Malaysia over time from 2011 to 28. So so the first ones you can see that is this SPPI, the black color, that means is education. And we can see from the graph that the SPPI in 2011 that just was only the 100% or 100%, and as time increased 2011 years to 28 years shows an upward trended with SPPIs researched around here. You can see here that is 113 in 28 years. So we can see that is so I will be introduced about one peoples, and he see that his name is Human Research Ministry Civilians stated that our past epidemic economic development can only be extracted if we have strong demonstrate ecological and capitals humanity capitals, therefore developing and enhancing the talent pools should be a top priorities for our companies and industry moving forward. Meanwhile, according to the round standards media's job monitors to 20 and 22 years, the 97% of 97 of Malaysia's talent are interested in learning and development. Yet only 33% are given the opportunities. So that is a decision about the human resource. And so we will move on to the next question. So before we start this topic, before we start these examples, here is an interesting questions. How much would an extra year of schooling increase the economics incomes? So this is a social statistics between the education and incomes, and there is a clearly correlation between years of education and incomes. But does this? There is a question. But does this means there is also conclusions? So first of all, you can see that the horizontal axis of this birth chart is the year of education, and this one is incomes. And yes, this one is income. So we can see that as the length of education to increase, so does the incomes. You can see there. You can see this one. The 6 years of education, 20 of the education, you can see that the income is always the increase. Yeah. So that means approved examples and illustrations choose to make it clearly that education is important for the future development of peoples, and corresponds to the second of Mr. Strazi's means strategies. Education is also factors that makes the social distribution of individuals' incomes equals in the regals. As people become more educated, their futures income levels will be grounded and become more equals. Choose the reductions incomes equivalent. Increased investment in human capitals can also lead to reductions in income from physical and properties capitals, and eventually to leveling of people's incomes. So you can see they do example. They do a conclusion about the figures. Use the data from the aggregates and the categories. The people in 1991, people with 20 years of education have incomes that are 20% higher than those of people with 11 of education. So this is conclusion. So let's move on to the last one. Last one picture is also from Malaysia. So this is the chart below shows that Malaysia government's expenditures on primary education. So you can see that there is a percentage of government experienced education. This is purple one. Purple one means that is government expenditures on primary education. So one break on the way occurred in 2008. See that is 39.065, and overall upload trade. The chart shows the increases importance that the location advertised are placing on capital investment in education. So that's all my presentation, and thank you for listening.